What's going on, everybody? Brandon Ross here, your Chevy source. And I know it's been a long time since I uploaded a video, but I promise what I have here for you guys today is going to be worth the wait. Let's get into it. All right, so fresh off the delivery truck, we have the brand new 2022 Bolt EUV, guys. Now, the Bolt EV has been out now for a few years. I believe 2017 was the first year it debuted. It's been pretty stagnant ever since. Nothing really too crazy has changed with it. A couple styling cues here and there, a couple features added to it. But now for 2022, the Bolt EV did get a facelift, whole new redesign to it, and now you do have the 2022 Bolt EUV. This is going to be Chevrolet's take on stepping into the SUV lineup for electric vehicles. There are plenty of manufacturers out there already doing so. So Chevrolet wanted to crack at it, and I'm going to go over with you today what is new for the Bolt and Bolt EUV, what has changed from the old generation, and what we can expect for more in the future. All right, so first off, let's talk about styling. And in my personal opinion, it looks pretty good. It's not the best looking EV vehicle out there, I'm going to admit that, obviously. But I do believe Chevrolet's doing a pretty good job at the whole modern design look, trying to stay up with the crowd and everything. Not too much I would complain here. Still has kind of like that eggshell look to it, but at the same time does also look very sleek as well. The biggest difference you'll notice here is the grille. It is an entire new redesign for the Bolt and Bolt EUV. Chevrolet is going with the whole trend with the thin LED daytime running lights, and then you do also have your regular headlights down below. Being an EV vehicle, you really don't need much of a grille, so that's why you have this big red plastic piece right there with a little bit of kind of groove design to go with it, a little more for styling features. One other thing I want to point out that I didn't notice until we actually got these delivered today is underneath the headlight right here, there's a vent that is actually functional. You can kind of see some daylight through there. It is a functional vent for aerodynamics and styling at the same time, but that kind of stuff you really don't see on Chevrolet vehicles unless it's like the Corvette or the Camaro. So I thought that's pretty cool that Chevrolet could do that. All right, so I'm going to try and get a good shot here of the window sticker. As you can see, it's a 2022 Bolt EUV Premier. The outside color is called Cherry Red, that I'm a huge fan of. The interior is jet black and night shift blue. I'll explain a little bit more when we actually get inside the vehicle. The standard price for this vehicle is $37,500. There are a couple options that my manager's opted in for. You have the Sun and Sound package. That's going to get you the 7-speaker Bose system. It is going to get a panoramic sunroof and power sliding sunshade as well. Next, you're also going to get the upgraded Infotainment 3 system that Chevrolet uses. It's going to come with the navigation in there. And then you also have the $495 charge for the paint itself. After the destination charge, you are now paying $41,485. And for this to be competing with other manufacturers, it's actually pretty competitive, especially for the stats that this car does bring. $41,000 isn't that bad. Another little small feature that I do like is the Bolt EUV right here is actually in black with the flat black around it to kind of make that Bolt stick out a little bit more, being gloss. Little small stuff like that I like. I like the black look. Chevrolet did change up the wheels a little bit with the new redesign of the Bolt and the EUV introduction. These are 17-inch wheels. You have the machine face on the outside, gloss black in the middle. You have the black bow tie in the center cap. I think that's a really good touch as well. Another little cool piece I like too is the side view mirror. This is kind of stuff that I normally don't look at, but they kind of stick out to me. It's almost like a red stripe, but it's really just half the mirror is black, half the mirror is red. You just have this other little bit right here on the end that's giving you that stripe look to it. But you have the gloss black, the cherry red on top. I do think it looks pretty good. And underneath, you have right there, little camera. You do have 360 view camera to give you that bird's eye view whenever you're backing up. You have that on the driver's side and one on the passenger side, and then you use the front and the backup camera to give you that 360 view. You have the functional roof rails on top. You do have the panoramic sunroof now. That wasn't an option in Bolts before, 21 and older. So I'm glad that Chevrolet is finally improvising that into here. I'm assuming it was just a battery thing. I guess they found a way to add the sunroof without draining the battery a lot. So another cool redesign that I really like for the new Bolt and the EUV is the taillights. They did completely redesign them. This more thin more minimalistic type, I think it's a really good fit for this vehicle. Then you have the nice gloss black bar that just goes across the trunk, separating the window to the rest of the panel. I kind of wish there would just be a light bar that went all the way across for a brake light or something, but I do like the black bow tie right here in the middle. I guess we'll just have to settle for that. All right, getting into the back of the Bolt EUV, one thing I do kind of have to complain about is trunk space has not gotten bigger. It's the EUV, it's supposed to be the SUV version, but being a bigger vehicle than the Bolt, this is the one thing that stayed the same. There is no extra cargo space for upgrading to the supposed bigger vehicle. I do kind of have to knock Chevy for that one. I wish it would have been a little bit bigger of a trunk space. And then one little tidbit that most people probably won't notice, but I'm going to say anyways, is here is the backup camera. In the older generation, you would have the camera for the rear view camera system. I'll show you that later. That was right next to it, and it's like that in a lot of our vehicles, but they actually switched it right underneath the rear spoiler. It's kind of hard with the sun, but I think you can see it now. There it is now, and you have the little windshield washer fluid that sprays onto it if it gets too like foggy or anything like that. All right, now getting into the back seat, this is actually a good example right here. This actually very good contrast. So here's your black. This is that nightshade blue that was on the window sticker. You can see it's kind of like a dark navy almost. I don't know how I feel about it on the red color, but to be honest, it looks pretty good. You can kind of see it. Chevrolet put these little triangular shapes of perforated leather into the seats in the back and down on the seat itself. And then this does fold down for 2 cup holders, an armrest, whatever the case may be if you have people riding back here. And then another thing you have back here that is good for riders in the back, you do have the 2 different USB ports right there, as well as heated outboard seats for the back seat. That's a bit of an upgrade. Only a few of our Chevys actually have that. It is a little surprising that they put that in an electric vehicle. That would probably hurt the range a little bit, but I'm sure Chevrolet works some way around it, otherwise they wouldn't put it in. Some drawbacks, I don't like that there's no rear climate vents back here at all. It would be nice to obviously have 2 vents here, you just have them facing each person. On a day like today, it's like 90 degrees outside. This would be a perfect time to have rear climate vents back here because it's a little toasty as I'm talking. One other thing I will be critical about, it is a panoramic sunroof, but I have to move up. I have to move my head about 6-7 inches just to be able to like see out the window. Don't really like that. It's pretty much a big sunroof at that point. This is right about where my head is, give or take. So, I have, easily, 6 inches or so. I would have liked if Chevrolet could have somehow brought the sunroof back this way a little bit more for the rear passengers, but it is what it is. And with that being said, there's a lack of a sunroof back for the rear passengers, but I think that does make up for a little bit of headroom. Let's see if you can see this a little bit better. So, yeah, I have about 3-4 inches of headroom. And for a compact SUV, I would say that's pretty good. A lot of our vehicles, like the Trax, for instance, I'm usually either very close or brushing my hair on the roof and everything. So if I had to ride in the back of one of these, I think I'd be pretty comfortable as far as that goes. And another positive thing that I can piggyback on with the headroom is the leg space I actually have here. I did adjust the front to roughly about what I think I'd be comfortable at, and I'm about 6 feet tall. So as you can see, I have easily 4 inches before my knees are touching the back seats. So again, other than like the climate vents back here, not being back here rather, I would be pretty comfortable. All right, so I jumped up to the driver's side. I just want to go over some things up here that I do like, what I don't like. First thing that's pretty obvious to me is the flat bottom steering wheel. I think this is awesome. I believe that Chevrolet should just do this in all of their vehicles. It's a sportier look. It's comfortable to feel. The leather feels great in the hands. I do like the whole 3-prong style that they have going on right here. I think Chevrolet should just pretty much use this steering wheel minus the Silverado for every one of our vehicles. You still do have the Regen on-demand paddle. It's a little bit smaller now. It's just this little tab right here. It's not an entire paddle, almost like a paddle shifter. I kind of don't like that, but because of that, let's see if you can see it back here. So you do have these 2 buttons right here. They are actually for your preset favorite radio stations. On the old ones, they used to be right down here, which kind of did make the steering wheel look a little ugly. I do understand that. But like I said, I just wish the paddle was a little bit bigger, because I feel like I have to move my whole hand up just to use this paddle. Another big change that I love in the Bolt EUV and the Bolt EV is the whole infotainment system. It used to be completely different. Nothing else that was in any other Chevy models. I have no idea why Chevrolet used that infotainment system, why they couldn't just use these. But now you do have this nice big 10-inch display right here. You have 2 analog buttons. Really, all they're going to do is control the volume and control the radio stations. Nothing too crazy. Other than that, everything is pretty simple to use on your touchscreen. Going down to this little tool section right here, I actually like this setup. It almost, I don't know, it reminds me of a piano almost. Pretty simple for the heated and cooled seats. You can go up, turn them off, and then automatically you keep on up, it turns on your heated seats. Or you can go back down, turn them on. It is hot. I'm going to leave mine on. You do have just your climate right here if you want to turn off the fans. Temperature, again, go up. Feels pretty good. Fan speed, I'm not exactly sure what this button does. This one isn't fully equipped, so I want to see one that we get that is fully equipped. Heated steering wheel, passengers, heated and cooled seats, all your different HVAC systems, AC, auto, climate, all that good stuff right there. And it does seem like this is something that GM is going to start going towards. I call it the push-pull method, because there is no column shifter, there is no shift knob right there either. Pretty much you push to put it in park, pull to put it in reverse, push to put it in neutral, pull to put it in drive, and this is a new button. So in the old Bolt, when you actually had the shift knob right here, you had to put it down to low gear for 1-pedal drive. Now, Chevy just put the button there. This is your 1-pedal drive system. So essentially, whenever you are driving, you have this on, all you have to do is let off the pedal a little bit and the car will automatically start decelerating for you. And at the same time, it's going to turn your battery into a generator, in which it's going to start putting more juice back in your battery. So I think that's a pretty cool system. Other than that, you also do have the rear view camera right here, like I was talking about, behind the vehicle. Press this button, you are going to open up this menu. You can make it brighter or dimmer. Press it again, you can zoom in and out. I recommend keeping it zoomed out for your peripheral visions. And if you press one more time, you can raise and lower the camera. And for the panoramic sunroof, pretty straightforward. You have 2 knobs right here. On the right side, you're just gonna be able to control the shade. And on the left side, you're gonna be able to actually control the sunroof itself. Pretty much just like every other car out there. All right, so I pretty much showed you everything inside the new Bolt EUV. Enough talking, let's actually get out on the road and drive this thing. All right, so we're driving the Bolt EUV, and I'm getting on the highway right now. We're gonna test out the acceleration with this. It is supposed to go a little bit slower because it's the same battery, but a little bit larger of a vehicle. All right, we're gonna do another quick acceleration test now that I have some gap between me and the car ahead of me. We'll go down to 40. All right. Yeah, that seems good to me. All right, another quick test I want to do. This new Bolt does have adaptive cruise control now. I don't foresee it having any issues, but nevertheless, I still want to give it a try. All right, so I'm gonna press the cruise control button first. And now that I turned on cruise control, I'm gonna press down to set my speed. Now it's set to 40. I'm gonna up that though, just so that we can catch up to somebody, and then hopefully the adaptive part kicks in. All right, so yeah, it's working. I have it set to 60, and it's still keeping a pretty good gap in between me and the car in front. I can shorten that gap using this button right here if I want to. But no, yeah, this is doing a really good job. It's decelerating for me. My foot is not on the brake or the gas or anything. Still decelerating as I'm getting closer and closer. Down below 25 miles an hour. And then I can resume and it'll take me right back up. All right, and let's see this acceleration. Yeah, there's no problem getting on the highway when you're getting on the on-ramp. I don't think anyone will have a problem. All right, let me slow down now. And again, I kicked on that adaptive cruise control. I do still have it set to 60. It is reading the vehicle out in front of me. So it's at 49 right now. Now, like I was talking earlier, this does share the same battery as the 2020, and the 2020 Bolt had even the new 2022 redesigned Bolt. It is sharing the same battery as all of those, and it is a little bit bigger of a vehicle. So it is to be expected a little bit that acceleration isn't going to be as good, but nevertheless, it is an electric vehicle, so it is going to pick up. Acceleration and torque is there on demand from 0 to whatever. So for losing a fraction of a second on the acceleration for how much more space you're getting in this vehicle, I'm not upset whatsoever. I would actually prefer the more space than in my Bolt. Now in August, I'm going to a Find New Roads event that's held by Chevrolet out in New Jersey. When I'm there, I do plan on asking a lot of questions to a lot of these higher up people, mainly on electric vehicles. That's what I'm most interested in right now. And the biggest thing I want to find out is Chevrolet planning on, or even GM altogether, are they planning on offering different powertrain options for the electric vehicles? And what I mean by that is, are they going to be having, a long range battery option? Are they gonna be having like a sport performance option, or they just have the normal one then? Like, I just want to be able to have different levels for people to choose from. I do feel like GM is missing out on a big market for that, just because there are people who want a sportier car. If they want to go on longer trips, but they're worried about range, they can get the longer range one, things like that. All right, and that's pretty much going to do it for us, guys. Let me know what you think about the new Bolt EUV. Did Chevrolet knock it out of the park? Did they do a bad job? Is there anything they can do to make it better? Let me know. I'm really curious. All in all, I like it. It's not the most handsome car out there, but I do think Chevy did a really good job, especially coming from what the old Bolt used to look like. If you did enjoy this video, please smash the like button down below. Any comments that you may have, feel free to put them out there. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, guys, please do. It does help me a lot. I am trying to get exposed a little bit more. Let me know if there's anything you want to see about this vehicle or any other Chevrolets we have in our lot. I'd be more than happy to go over them with you, what options are available on them, what the different trim levels are like, anything you could possibly want. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.